What's up, guys? My name is Sai, and today I'm going to be going over our draft for the Pokemon Global League's rebooted season. This is the rebooted Season 1, I believe. And it's been a while since I've done Draft League format. I believe the last time I did some sort of Draft League format was PLL, the Pokemon Little League, way back last year. And but this is the first time I'm actually doing Draft League format with all types of Pokemon, not just Little Cutmons. So I'm very excited to get into this because I'm ready to kick some butt, and I'm hoping and praying that we can go off the season with a positive record. That's my hope. Hopefully my plan. I can't speak today. I apologize. But yeah, our team name is the Carolina Liepards, if you guys remember from PLL when I did that back on my old channel. So, hope you guys are hyped, yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into this. Okay, so before we go over my draft, I do want to go over what PGL and what a draft league Pokemon format is. So essentially, coaches, there's around 8 to 20 coaches per Pokemon draft league, and we draft Pokemon based on their viability and their movesets and all that, a whole bunch of assorted stats through a ranking system. So there's Pokemon that are ranked A, and then ranked B, and ranked C, ranked D, ranked E. And usually these are smoke-on formats such as OU and OU through PU. But in this league, they decided to restructure the Pokemon a bit. So there's a rank A Pokemon, and then the rank B, and then the rank C, and then the rank D. So that's how the draft worked. I was 6th on the draft list, and the draft was a snake format. So there's 20 players in PGL, and essentially it went from players 1 through 20, and then 20 was a wheel pick. So 20 got to choose twice, and then it circled from 20 through 1 again, so if that makes any sense. So 1 through 20, then 20 through 1, and then just kept on going and going and going until everyone had 11 Pokemon. Once everyone had 11 Pokemon, we were set. We all drafted a Mega Evolution. Z Crystals were off the table. This is a free Z Crystal League, which means that every trainer, every coach can use whatever Z Crystals they want in different matches. So one week I can use a Water type Z Crystal, or another week I could use a Fire type Z Crystal. It just depends on the situation and if it works or not. So that's basically what a draft league is in a nutshell. But going into the draft, I really wanted to strive for versatility because this was the first draft league that I've been back in, and so I really wanted a strong, balanced team that could basically put a dent into almost every single team in this league. So that was my main game plan for going into this draft. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go over each of the Pokemon we have. I'll go ahead and I'll give a quick description of why I chose this Pokemon, and then we'll move on to the next one until we're finished. So, let's get started. So, our first draft pick of the league, as before, I wanted to focus on versatility, and so my first draft pick was Mew. Mew was a rank A pick, I believe? I don't remember the exact rank picks off the top, tier picks off the top of my head. But basically, Mew is the epitome of versatility. This thing gets basically every Pokemon move in the metagame. It has access to Psychic, Shadow Ball, Zen Headbutt, Ice Beam, Aura Sphere, you name it. It can act as a special sweeper, it can act as a physical sweeper, it can act as a wall, it can act as a utility mon. It has base 100 stats across the board, gets access to Synchronize, which means whatever Pokemon status is thrown at Mew, Mew puts that status right back on the opponent. So if they try to use Will-O-Wisp on me, I can Will-O-Wisp them back with Synchronize, which is a great ability. And overall, though, having Mew on the team is just really nice because, again, Mew can fit any situation I want on my team, no matter what happens. So it's just a good Pokemon to have in a tight situation, and that's one reason I picked Mew on my team. Okay, so my next draft pick for PGL, I wanted to go with a Pokemon that could that counteracted with Mew's typing, because Mew is a Psychic type, and Mew is weak to Bug, Ghost, and Dark. So I wanted a Pokemon who could at least deal with some of those typings, and so I went with Tapu Fini. Because Tapu Fini is a fairy type, which resists bug and dark type moves, which helps me out a ton. But in addition to that, Tapu Fini is a water type, which gives me coverage against fire, rock, and ground types, because those are really prevalent in league format. So having a water type on my team with a water fairy type specifically is really nice. That fairy typing also counters dark, dragon, and fighting types, by the way, in case you guys are wondering. But another cool thing about Tapu Fini is that Tapu Fini has access to Misty Terrain, which makes it so that under Misty Terrain, Tapu Fini cannot be statused, or any of my Pokemon cannot be statused. Actually, no, all Pokemon in the field cannot be statused for at least 5 turns in Misty Terrain. And also, Dragon type moves are halved. And since Dragon is a really powerful metagame typing, having Misty Terrain up is going to save my butt, in addition to warding off any status moves that the opponent tries to use against me. Tapu Fini's a bit interesting because it's bulky, but it can act as a setup user because I can use Calm Mind with it. I can also have Defog, Surf, Moonblast, Ice Beam, Nature's Madness if I wanted to rock more of a Super Fang set. So yeah, there's a lot of things you could run with Tapu Fini, but Tapu Fini's main bread and butter is being a special wall, and that's what we're hopefully going to be utilizing with Tapu Fini. So hopefully it all works out. Okay, so when my third draft pick came up, I really wanted a Mega Evolution because I wanted to get a Mega right out the bat, and I really wanted a strong Mega. But I also wanted something that was underrated because a lot of the Megas that I've been seeing that were drafted were pretty high-tier Megas, such as like Mega Charizard and Mega Mawile. So I really wanted a Mega that was decent enough, but wasn't super sought after. So I wanted to get Mega Beedrill, and I got a Mega Beedrill, obviously. But Mega Beedrill is a great Mega in my opinion because it's very one-note, but it does its job extremely well. As a Glass Cannon, Mega Beedrill gets us access to Adaptability, which powers up all of its stab moves, which being U-Turn, X's, and Poison Jab. Those are the main stab moves that Beedrill gets. Beedrill also gets access to Knock Off for those Psychic types, Drill Run for Fire and Rock types, and what else? Protect, so I can scout moves out. Toxic Spikes if I wanted to set up with Beedrill, which I probably won't, but hey man, I can run with a Toxic Spike set this week, well, any week. But overall though, Beedrill does what it needs to do. This thing's base attack and base speed stats are extremely high. I think it's one of the fastest Pokemon in the game as Mega. So Beedrill is basically going in for a kill. If it needs to go out, it will U-turn out into one of our more bulkier Pokemon. And so Beedrill's just nice because it can get in there, do what it needs to do, swap out quickly to another Pokemon, and then let my bulkier Pokemon take care of the rest. So it's very good at what it does. Mega Beedrill is definitely one of the best Megas out there, and I'm super excited to be using it for PGL. Okay, so after I drafted Mega Beedrill, I already had a Physical Sweeper on my team, with Beedrill, obviously, and I had a versatile Pokemon with Mew, and I had a special wall with Tapu Fini, but I really wanted a more offensive presence on the special side, because Beedrill could already fit my physical bill, so I went ahead and drafted up Kyurem, because Kyurem is a very good Pokemon to have in Draft League format, as a regular, by the way. Its special attack stat is massive. It has access to Draco Meteor, Ice Beam, Psychic, Shadow Ball, Earth Power, Roost. There's a bunch of moves that Kyurem gets. It also can run Outrage as well. And it also can be mixed. But primarily what Kyurem's going to be doing is being my special sweeper because its special attack can be used for a lot more purposes than it can with its physical attack. And another great thing about Kyurem is that regular Kyurem does have higher special attack than Kyurem Black. Because a lot of people normally use Kyurem Black in League formats because it has access to Electro-type moves, being Fusion Bolt. But the fact that regular Kyurem has its massive special attack stat already just makes it just makes a more versatile user on the special attacking side rather than Kyurem Black. Obviously Kyurem White is not allowed because it's an overused, well, not overused. It's basically an Uber Pokemon. It's a really powerful legendary, so it's not allowed in the league. But overall, though, this was basically the second best Pokemon I could have gotten for a special sweeper. And Kyurem's gonna really kick butt in this league because, again, Dragon and Ice, that typing combination is really good to just blow everything out of the water. It's just such a strong metagame typing. Unfortunately, Kyurem does have a lot of weaknesses, but I'm pretty sure we can manage that with what our team has to offer. So, yeah, Kyurem is our special sweeper for the league. Okay, so going into my round 5 pick, I really wanted another wall on my team who could deal with mainly physical attackers because so far a lot of my team couldn't really deal with physical attackers that much except for Mew. So I went ahead and drafted up Rotom Heat on my team because this gave me an electric type and a fire type, and I really wanted a fire type at this point, something that could swallow up a Will-O-Wisp. And the great thing about Rotom Heat is that it's basically like Rotom Wash, except it has Stab Overheat, which is extremely powerful, like base 140. It may lower my special attack, but I can instantly Volt Switch to anything out once it's done. So I can Will-O-Wisp things, Overheat for massive damage, Volt Switch out, and then possibly Pain Split if I need to recover my health back. Rotom also gets access to Hidden Power, it gets access to Defog, it gets access to Thunderbolt. So there's a bunch of moves I can run on Rotom. Again, Rotom is a little, Rotom can be run a little bit more versatile-wise. But for the most part, though, I want to use Rotom as, like, an overheat Volt Switch set. And also, this gives me synergy with Big Mega Beedrill, because with Mega Beedrill, I can U-turn out, go to Rotom, overheat, Volt Switch out back to Mega Beedrill, and just play a Volt Turn game there. So, yeah, Rotom Heat is really nice because it completes more of a Volt Turn core that I have a Mega Beedrill. And even though they both share a Rock weakness, my upcoming draft picks will hopefully deal with those Rock types. So that's my plan for dealing with that situation. So yeah, not Mega Beedrill. Rotom Heat, good mon, overall, has decent stats. It's gonna help us out against a lot of water types in the league and grass types. So yeah, my next Pokemon that I wanted, I really needed something that could deal with the rock types because my rock weakness was getting out of control. So I went ahead and picked up Hippowdon on my team. Hippowdon is kind of one note as well. It's bulky, it's a physical wall, it has access to Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Rock Slide, Crunch, Fire Fang, Ice Fang, you name it. Also has access to Toxic and Slack Off, so it's a very reliable wall. You can use Leftovers on Hippowdon to make it a really just nice bulky tank Pokemon. And it has access to Sandstream, which helps whittle down the opponent's HP. So the combination of Toxic, Stealth Rock, and Sandstream is going to be very nice for Hippowdon. I was originally contemplating on drafting Donphan, but I really just wanted more bulk and more defense on my main physical defensive tank. Because if Tapu Fini was already going to be my main special wall, who already was really good special-wise with bulk and with its HP and special defense, I just wanted something on the physical that would basically mirror Tapu Fini on the physical side. So that's the reason I drafted Hippowdon for the league. Okay, so my next draft pick that I got was Hitmontop, and the reason I drafted Hitmontop was because, again, I really wanted to take care of those rock types, because, again, rock is a really scary typing on my team. Hitmontop gets access to Intimidate, which is a really good ability. It has access to Assault Vest as well, so the combination of an Intimidate, Assault Vest your Pokemon makes Hitmontop a very good wall, in my opinion. Has access to Close Combat, Mach Punch, Sucker Punch, Fake Out, Foresight, Toxic. Again, a lot of good moves to put on Hitmontop. Rapid Spin as well. A lot of my Pokemon at this point could have already used Defog, such as Mew, Tapu Fini, Beedrill, and Rotom Heat. So I had a lot of Pokemon who could use Defog already, which was nice, but I really wanted those Pokemon to have different movesets, and I wanted Hitmontop specifically to be my Rapid Spinner, because having a Hitmontop as a Rapid Spinner allows all of my other Pokemon to do what they do best, and I can allow Hitmontop to be more of a utility, bulky fighting type, which would help me out in the long run. And it gives me another Rock Resist with Intimidate, so Intimidate's just a great ability overall because that shuts down any physical attackers that my other team has like that in an instant. So that's the reason I picked up Hitmontop as my next Pokemon. So, going into my next draft pick, I really was concerned about flying types, because a lot of my team at this point was weak to flying, except for Rotom Heat, so I really wanted to, balance the odds around and get a Pokemon on my team that could hopefully deal with all these flying types that could just destroy my team. One Brave Bird, and I get bodied. So, my next draft league pick was Bisharp, and Bisharp is a very good Pokemon on my team because it synergizes very well with Tapu Fini, it synergizes well with Mew and Rotom Heat. I was about to say Tapu Fini. Bisharp is a Dark type, so I have a Dark immunity, I have a Psychic immunity, and I also have a Steel type finally, which gives me a Poison immunity. So I have a bunch of immunities with Bisharp. Unfortunately, I am quite weak to fighting, but that's why I can send Tapu Fini out, because Tapu Fini and Mew can handle that fighting typing, so I'm not too concerned with that. But a Sword Stance Bisharp with Night Slash, Sucker Punch, Knock Off, Psycho Cut, Iron Head, Thunder Wave as well. Stealth Rock is another added bonus. Bisharp gets a lot of good moves. Even though it's slow, it's decently bulky on the physical side. Special side really won't be as well, but again, that's why I'm going to Tapu Fini in case I have to deal with a fighting type or just a really strong special attacker. So Bisharp is just a really good mon at what it does, and hopefully it will get some kills this season. So yeah. So my next Pokemon that I wanted to draft, I really wanted another fast special attacker because a lot of my team wasn't really that fast. And I wanted something that other than Kyurem, who could deal some good special attacking damage and possibly also get some utility off. So I drafted Miss Magius. Miss Magius is a very good Pokemon. It is all pure Ghost, only weak to Dark and Ghost. As access to Shadow Ball, access to Psychic, Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, Nasty Plot is the main reason to use Mismagius because it can be a setup sweeper. Destiny Bond, it also gets access to Toxic, obviously. Heal Bell, which is a great move to use in case I want to use Heal Bell with Mismagius instead of like Mew, in case I needed Mew for another reason. But Mismagius overall is a great Pokemon to have simply because it's just, it's a really good special attacking sweeper, and in case that Kyurem doesn't have the best options to go against, that's why Mismagius can be brought instead, because Mismagius can basically fill in the gaps that Kyurem necessarily can't. So, that's the reason I picked Mismagius up on the team. My next draft pick was a tough one for me. I really wanted to go with Exploud at the beginning, but I decided to go with Swellow. And the reason I went with Swellow is that I really wanted, again, another fast Pokemon, because a lot of my team at this point was decently fast, but not really fast enough. And so I drafted Swellow as a Pokemon who could be really good physically and special attack-wise. It has access to Scrappy and Guts, which are two really good abilities. Access to Stab, Boom Burst, which is another good ability. Brave Bird, Flame Orb, U-Turn, Facade, Heat Wave. There's a lot of good moves that Swellow can run, and because of the fact that it's super fast, it can kill an opponent's Pokemon pretty easily under at least like 2 hits. Quick Attack as well for priority, so Swellow gives me access to that priority that I want on my team, as well as being a really strong attacker, and I can U-turn out of there in case things go wrong. So that's one reason I picked, that is the reason I picked Swellow as my 10th draft format pick. Okay, so for my last draft pick, I wanted to pick up a grass type. Originally my sights were set on Cradily, but I really wasn't a big fan of Cradily, and just because Cradily had a lot of weaknesses, and it just was very, it didn't really help my team synergy out that much with Cradily. So I decided to go ahead and pick up Meganium instead, because the thing about Meganium is that Meganium has access to a lot of just overall, it has access to Light Screen and Reflect. It's bulkier than Cradily was. It also has access to Giga Drain and Dragon Tail, so I can run combinations with that if I need to. Another reason I picked up Meganium is that it's just overall for grass types, it's just a very bulky grass type, and it can absorb a lot more hits than other grass types would have been able to. I would have picked up Bellossom, but unfortunately, Bellossom was not really the best bulk-wise on my team, and I really wanted to have Meganium on my team at this point just because it could handle the bulk that would have had. Oh, and another thing, Cradily was, I believe, like a tier 4 pick, and I already used my tier 4 picks at the moment to grab Swellow and Mismagius, so literally the only other grass type that I would have been able to draft was Meganium that was decently bulky enough to handle my team. I don't know if Meganium's going to come on every single, like, battle of the league, just because of the fact that it has so many weaknesses, but when Meganium needs to shine, hopefully Meganium will shine. So without further ado, that has been my PGL draft analysis. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys want have any questions about our draft team, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below. I'll try to answer them because my memory at the time of recording this video isn't that really great with how I drafted everything. So if you guys have any questions for me post this video, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below. Hope you guys are excited for PGL. Our week 1 opponent is the Toronto Tyrantrums. So look forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I will see you guys all next time. Peace out, friends. Bye-bye.